Greetings and salutations, everyone. My name is Featherhoof.
Buenos dias, muchachos. This is CarnagePanda.
And welcome to week 1 of Winter 2019 of Anime Talk. What to say about this season? I gotta say, I'm kind of surprised. It was one of those, and yet again, before we went into the season, one of those things where we're looking at it going, there's not really a lot of good out there.
Well, you can never really tell until you start watching things. Like, you watch the first episode of something, and then you're like, oh, wait, I don't really like this after all.
Yeah.
And then you watch something that you didn't think you were going to like, and then you're like, oh, this was really good, actually.
That's true. This is actually very true. And it's, yet again, proven to be true with this season.
However, it did work some way from what we said last season that I hope this season's terrible to, get the bad mojo out.
Yeah.
Because for some reason, we got some really, really good openings this season.
Very true.
And this extends beyond the shows that we're watching, the 5 shows that we've selected for, discussing today.
Yeah. So we, in a bit of a, it wasn't really a formal poll, but we put it out there to the patrons. What shows we should be watching, what's interesting out there. We got some feedback. We took that into consideration, and we came up with our 5. So, you know what? Enough beating around the goddamn bush. Let's go ahead and begin Anime Talk Winter 2019.
We're starting off week 1 with Dororo.
Dororo. Bo 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 bo.
I think that's how you say it.
I know that's how you say it.
Like, the first time I saw that one, I was like, what? That's an actual anime if you don't know.
I love it. Completely devoid of what we're supposed to be talking about. We were seeing the trailers for Bo 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 Bo, and he's caught up on the name. I was caught off by the fact that the main character has a giant blonde afro and attacks people with his nose hair, so...
But that's not the show we're actually supposed to be talking about.
No.
Just an aside. Dororo, what do we have to say about this other than, this is a very old manga adaptation. It's like 50 years old, I think. I think it was written in the 60s.
By the god of anime, Tezuka himself.
Yes, Tezuka... exactly what he said. This is this guy's actual title, the God of Manga.
So, tell us, set up Dororo for us. How did we get introduced to this? To this world?
Well, we got introduced by a guy with a bullseye on his forehead.
Yes. Well, a target, really. Not really a bullseye.
Same thing. Yes, he got this target on the top of his forehead.
Just right there.
Yeah, by making a pact with some demons to conquer his land and bring fertile...
Well, it's like, apparently, like, the land has been, like, dealing with plagues and famine and wars and whatnot, and he's like, demons, if you, make my land prosper so that I can rule the world, you can have anything that is mine.
Yeah, he decided that Buddha was useless and that demons were the way to go.
After he, slays a priest who has a shit ton of blood in him.
Oh yeah, the blood in anime. This was a Mortal Kombat scene, to be honest.
It honestly was. Two slashes. Slash across the back of this...
Straight up enabled the blood cheat.
Yeah. He's just 2 slashes with his swords across the back of this priest sent enough blood splattering across all 12 demon statues.
Yeah, the demons actually really like this. They're like, wow, we're down with that. And so they put a target on his head.
Yep.
Like, okay, that was a good deal.
I think what the target is that so the demons, if he ever goes back, reneges on the deal, they have a target. They have a demon sniper ready just in case.
I have the perfect picture for that.
Will you give it to me to put on here?
Yes.
Cha-ja! Proceed.
Well, he also kind of gets a raw deal because at the same time his newborn son is being born, I did not lead into that very well at all. But
well, it's because the anime didn't really lead into it very well. It's like suddenly he's making pact with demons. Suddenly he's at his firstborn child's birth. It's just like hard cut.
The demons come and take everything from this boy, his organs,
his eyes, his nose, his skin. I'm assuming also his voice box because he never speaks.
His penis.
I don't want to think about baby penis. Thank you very much. I don't want to think about baby penis or the lack thereof.
He does not stay a baby for long.
So the demons appear in the form of lightning. So apparently the demon shot this lady's coochie with lightning as the child was slurping out of it, and the goddess of protection statue sacrifices itself.
Protect.
I don't know how. It's because like the dad comes in and is like, he's like, the fuck happened to the statue? And one of the nursemaids is like, oh, it looks like it was almost as if it sacrificed itself for the child or whatever. Yeah, because the child is still alive, even though missing organs and vital body parts. So
Lord Douchebag, which is what I'm just going to call him now. His name is Daigo, but he's a real douchebag because he makes this pact with the demons. They steal his newborn son's organs
and skin and face.
And what's his reaction? I'm going to give my baby boy off to the nurse so that she can go drown this kid.
Yeah. He's like, get rid of it. And the mom's like, no, please don't. And he's like, it's gonna die anyway.
Yeah, the mom's like heartbroken that he's trying to do this stuff, and he's like, ha, this was a good deal.
He kind of did. And he just tells her, get over it. It's gonna die anyways. Let it die in my arms at least, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, this guy is such an amazing douchebag that he's like, yeah, just get over it. And by the way, I'm going to get you pregnant again, and you're going to give me another boy.
Yeah. Well, I'm kind of curious whether she did or not. Like, how many daughters she gave him, and then he probably drowned them, too.
Well,
I mean, this guy's, like, levels of evil and douchebaggery are, like, way off the chart.
I mean, I'd like to say that there are not people like that actually exist, but...
There is.
There is.
Yeah. So then we get this like hard cut. It's like after the child is saved from a demon that was going to eat it by a blind cello player.
He was a bard. This is an overpowered bard. This is our continuing D&D campaign. This bard shows up and one-shots this demon. So yeah, this class needs wind. He's blind. Come on.
I know. So it's just like after this scene, it's just like hard cut 16 years later.
16 years later. And we get
our titular character, Dororo. Dororo. Who's apparently a little thief.
Yeah,
of questionable gender. Because I swear to God, I have a feeling it's going to be revealed that, it was actually a girl! But everyone referred to Dororo as a boy.
That could be the case, but...
It has all the markings, like, the telltale markings, in animation, especially in anime style, of being a female character.
You know what? What we were discussing during the episode is completely true, because Dororo is a bully.
Yes, because that damn Dororo getting all beaten up and shit.
No, Dororo went and stole a bunch of merchandise from some babies. Some really big babies.
Oh,
these guys
I see what you're saying.
Run around in diapers.
They kind of did, too. So, it's like Dororo... First off, I mean, I want to know how Dororo stole all of that.
Don't question it.
All of that stuff that Dororo stole, Dororo didn't seem to have a cart
bag of holding
or anything. Just was carrying more stuff than was even the size of this child. And these guys come to kick his ass. I'll just say his because that's what they say is a boy. Come to kick his ass, and there's just like this. It's almost like comical, like, you almost want to hear because it's just running through the city.
Dororo is little, a little kid.
Yes.
And Dororo manages to outrun these, what was it, 4 adults? Three adults?
Yeah.
This would never happen.
No.
Never. Like, Dororo's like, what, 6 or 8?
It looks at least, I'd say 6 or 8, yeah.
Yeah, so...
Maybe 10.
I can't wrap my head around Dororo just pulling an Usain Bolt on these guys. Like, come on, man.
So, Dororo eventually gets caught, though, because he befriends a puppy, and then the big babies threaten to murder the puppy.
Well, the puppy kind of used its puppy dog eyes to try to seduce Dororo into feeding it, and Dororo's like, "Nuh-uh, I'm doing this for your own good," because Dororo pulls out a fish that
suddenly fish
had inside of
his
clothes.
Dororo has the clothes of infinite holding.
That's how Dororo stole from these 3 babies.
Because Dororo just reaches into his clothes and like suddenly fish. All right. And so then it's one of our favorite lines because they proceed to beat the ever-living out of Dororo, right? And our main character shows up. Main character is like standing on a bridge looking...
Is it the main character? Because this is named Dororo.
Well, the baby. The skinless, eyeless, noseless baby.
His name is.
Yeah.
Because they haven't revealed it yet.
Yeah. Is just staring off into the distance, and they're all like, "What, you got a problem? Hey, it's just 3 guys taking care of a bully down here."
Yeah. These 3 guys are kicking Dororo, and they're like, "We had to do it because we were getting bullied. We had to stand up for ourselves."
But Dororo is apparently smarter than these 3. He's like, he's not even looking at us. He's looking behind us. He's like, "What? It's just floating garbage in the fucking water. What the hell's that all about?" And then we see from Dororo's perspective, question mark, quote unquote.
He's seeking vision.
There we go. And it's just like, ooh, red. It's like, ooh, scary. And it turns out to be the sludge monster from Spirited Away. Only, like, evil?
It's been so long that I don't even remember the sludge monster.
The filth spirit or whatever it was that turned out to be a river spirit?
It's starting to ring some bells, but I think I'm going to have to go watch that movie again.
That's my favorite Miyazaki movie, Spirited Away.
Or just say that I am going to and then never do it.
Hey, that's what I do. Stop that. Anyway, so it proceeds to eat the... what?
You have to warn these guys because there's a vor scene here.
Oh, God. Yes. It's like, warning, vor, Eats the dudes. Just nom, nom.
These guys have bad luck because not only were they getting bullied by Dororo, they now have been murdered by the sludge demon.
And it is going to eat Dororo until not titular, that's Dororo, but we'll call him Dollface for the sake of
Dollface, yes.
He has a prosthetic doll face mask thing on. So proceeds to remove one of his arms, and it's just a whole blade under there from like the elbow down.
Yes, he has swords for arms.
Yes, just takes off his arms, throws them saves Dororo, and then throws his arms at Dororo, and then proceeds to just wreck shop. Like,
see, this is like an interesting conversation you could have. This is kind of like what the Joker does in The Dark Knight. He's like, "You want to know how I got these scars?" And he's like, "You want to know how I got these swords for arms?"
Like throughout the episode, it keeps flashing to this this dude, I guess, that makes prosthetics, and he's testing them on corpses.
Obviously, he got this stuff from that dude.
Yeah,
because they do have a scene with one of the priests with their cool ass staffs.
Yeah,
talking to this guy about the prosthetics, and he's like, "Yeah, I like prosthetics, and I just fit them on dead people."
And he then he defeats this. I don't really understand. He somehow kills the sludge demon by just sort of breaking the bridge they're on, and it falls and splatters and dies.
See, this is interesting because we have all sorts of words for dying and killing in English, like electrification.
Yeah.
Strangulation,
poisoning, stabbing.
We don't have death by bridge.
No,
as far as I know.
Bridging.
Bridgy.
So somehow this kills a demon, and there's a sword inside, and I love because Dollface just sort of goes, this sword has. Okay, hold on. Picking up the sword with swords.
Now you're kind of reminding me of Edward Scissorhands.
A little bit, yeah. He Edward Scissorhands this shit, and picks up the sword and puts it in his mouth and walks back over to get his arms back from Dororo. And then he starts convulsing, like having a fucking seizure, and his doll face falls off, and you see, the skinless nose of this.
Meat.
Yeah, it's just like no skin, no nose. It's just, and then like skin and nose all form on his face.
Yeah, so we're on the quest to kill 12 demons and get our body back.
Yeah, and apparently that was one of them.
And this is what sold it in the synopsis for me.
Okay.
Like, I didn't even have to watch the video before I was like, yeah, I just want to watch this.
I didn't know what it was until we sat down and we did our, watching the trailers thing, and I was like,
well, I was watching it with you, and I was like, yeah, this sounds really cool. I want to watch this. I'm already sold.
Well, it wasn't until the trailer that sold me, and that was actually like, oh. But and then it was showed went back to Daigo's town with Daigo sitting there with his new 16-year-old son, and his mom's all like, I miss my boy, my poor boy. What happened to my boy?
Well, I kind of feel for her because
yeah,
she's still married to Lord Douchebag.
Yes.
And she has a new son.
But then, the lightning happens, and he goes to investigate it in the Hall of Hell.
Yeah, he busts out his best Massacre. This is impossible, man! How could the demon statue die?
Yes, the demon statue died. It was busted in half. And as it happened, there was a landslide or whatever, a mudslide.
Oh yeah, the landslide that came through his land.
Yeah. It's a big old mudslide. And he's like, the fuck just happened?
He's like, no, I packed with the demons. I was having such a good time. So, that's pretty much where it ends. How do we feel about Dororo after this first episode? First episode in general, or first episode impressions, and how we feel about it going forward? I don't know about you, but I feel good. Like they said in the opening, fire.
Did they?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, fire. It is on fire. This anime is lit AF. I'm really expecting a lot out of this. It's obviously gonna be the, it's gonna be like X-Files, with the monster of the week sort of thing. Every episode is gonna be him tracking down a new monster to get another part of his body back.
Yeah, there's gonna be a monster of the week, but
yeah.
I wouldn't exactly say X-Files, because X-Files was just weird unexplained shit.
Go back and watch the first couple of seasons. It was monster of the week.
Well, it's been a while since I've seen that, and we're going off on a tangent.
Yeah, but I was just trying to make a comparison. Obviously, that's what it's going to be. You can tell by its description. So it's not exactly you don't know that going into Dororo. But I'm interested to see how they really personify the main character, even what the main character's name is, because he didn't say a single word the whole episode. So I'm interested to see how that's going to play out. I want to know more about Dororo. I have a feeling like the big reveal is going to come. I still say it's actually a she. It's like the new Voltron where they revealed, what? Pidge is a girl? Sort of thing. And
bro, spoilers.
Yeah, it happens in the second episode. Shut up. But yeah, it's interesting. I'm really excited to see more of it. So I think that's all we have to say about it. I mean, this first episode was really good. It was a really good introduction. It got everything out of the way, except
it was a good first episode.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I'd want to see, and they haven't really delved into it. We know that the guy who makes the prosthetics is the guy who gave the unnamed main character the prosthetics, but we don't know how they met, and why he decided to help this skinless, faceless child, eyeless child. I mean, and where the main character learned to fight.
Tune in next week for Dororo
Dororo.
and how he got his prosthetics.
That's probably the end. Let's see what happens. In the meantime, we have other anime to talk about. Next up is Kaguya-sama Love is War. Huh. How does it... This is one of those ones where I wasn't really sure about it going in.
But you sure were laughing.
I absolutely was while we were watching it. Its first episode, I don't know if the rest of the season is going to play out this way, but its first episode was a series of 3 vignettes about these 2 people who obviously want to date each other.
They don't just want to date each other, they want to, film a porno with each other. They
do. But their pride won't let them be the one to
make the first move.
Yeah, they basically create these Rube Goldberg plans in their head to try and trick and force the other one to be the one to propose the relationship.
Yeah, this plays out exactly as you would expect it, as they go from one Wile E. Coyote scheme to the next.
Yes.
And it backfires horribly because the other person, at least in this episode, in the opening they show that there's going to be a whole cast of people.
Yes.
But there's only one other person that interacts with them.
The secretary?
Yeah, the secretary. She doesn't understand what the fuck they're doing in this intricate... they're just throwing math symbols of these 2 just calculating how they're going to get the other to confess first.
And as each step happens, watching them, they're all thinking 3 steps ahead and the variables in between until, when they refer to the secretary as pure chaos, the chaos,
yeah.
Chaos theory!
Actually, I do like that because they go from trigonometry to throwing up quantum mechanics in there. And they're like, oh my god. And they overload.
Yeah, their brains overheat. The heat sinks on their brain fall off and they just completely overheat.
They're like, what has this woman done to us?
So the flow of the show is every episode begins with one of them coming up with a scheme to try and trick the other one. Them going through the motions of how it backfires, or the other one retaliating, and then until in the end it shows there's a final result of this battle.
You know what? This reminds me of another show I watched called Nisekoi, which wasn't really that great.
All right,
but it kind of has the same kind of shot composition and stuff, where it kind of gets trippy and. Some of these scenes in Kaguya, it looks like an old VHS tape.
They do a lot of filters and different art styles, constantly to depict the different personalities or what exactly is going on through their head, or
and Nisekoi I didn't find really that funny, but the way they were doing all the shots and everything, made it funny.
So. Let's talk about this episode. It's, First off, I want to talk about the opening credits. I love watching the opening credits because it kept doing this juxtaposition where it shows them being prim and proper, but then showing them in different colors as if what's in their head, and each one of them has different fucking weapons, from bazookas to knives to bows and arrows to fucking assault rifles and shit and swords that they're ready to stab each other with or shoot each other with.
Yeah,
in the name of love, because then it all shows it with hearts and shit.
Speaking of the opening, I really like the song. It's done by, he's 60 years old now, but
wow.
He's to follow up on Dororo. I don't remember this guy's name, but he's got the title "The King of Love Songs."
Does he?
Yes.
Oh Christ!
And you can tell because this is one of those. Old style love kind of songs. I don't want to say Prince or something, because Prince had a really unique style.
Yeah.
I can't think of anybody.
I don't know. The style sort of reminded me the very like the trippy sort of style reminds me of like an old James Bond opening. You know, where they have the silhouettes dancing around and doing stuff and whatnot.
Well, it does have some interesting visuals, and it plainly lays out what this show is about.
It does.
This is actually a really good opening for that alone, because you don't have to know Japanese at all. You can just listen to the lyrics. Be
Well,
like,
seeing
I
as
don't know what they're talking about here, but you can clearly tell what's going on.
Yeah, but you hear the phrase "love is war" at least 39 times.
Yeah,
so.
love is war.
They sing the lyric "love is war" a million times.
I don't care. I love this song.
So the first vignette is the main. What was the name? Female's lead. I can't remember her name. It was Kaguya, right?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
The title. Come on.
Well, I was trying to remember. What was the main lead's name?
Miyuki? I know his last name is Shirogane.
Yeah, let's go Shirogane, because I can't remember his first name. Because I remember Shirogane because...
Even though in the show they're saying Kaicho, which is president.
Well, yeah, because he's the president of the student council. Kaguya is the vice president of the student council. And man, do they want a bone, but they don't want to be the one to ask for it.
Yeah, I think the show is going to be interesting to watch just for this
so
convoluted dynamic between these two.
Kaguya sets a plan in motion. She mailed tickets to a romance movie to the secretary. She sets it up so
the secretary, because we're bad with names.
Yeah, she sets it up specifically buying tickets for a day she knew the president wouldn't be busy. For Shiro to be busy. Knew he'd have that day off. Knew that the secretary wouldn't be able to use them, so that she would offer it to them to see if he would accept them and invite her on to go see it with her.
Yeah, these are the kinds of plans that they go through. They're really calculated and thought out.
Well, sometimes
I wouldn't say well thought out, because
well, yeah, they're thought out by children. I mean, really smart children, but they're still fucking children.
Yeah, one little kink of the plan introduced by the secretary just ruins everything.
Yeah. So that one, I think that was the one that that's where the secretary said something that introduced chaos theory into the whole equation and melted both their brains.
And they were going for the what was it, melon bun or
meat bun, or they had to specifically point it out. I loved it. Like they had a little arrow pointing to it.
They pointed to it earlier in the scene, and you were like, why'd they have to point that out?
Yeah. So it almost like portrayed it as this great battle, and the first person to get to the meat bun would gain the advantage of having enough energy to
overcome the other.
Yes, to outthink to get to the next part of their plan, because they were running on empty or whatever.
But of course, it's closest to the secretary, so she gets it, and this ends with their battle and them both being defeated.
Yes. The next one is Kaguya gets a love letter in her locker, and it proceeds to try and make Shiro jealous.
Yeah, it's called Kaguya Wants to Be Stopped, because, of course, as we've been pointing out, she wants Shirogane.
Yes.
Like, super bad.
Mm-hmm.
And she gets this love letter. I don't know if it's fake or if it's authentic.
Yeah.
She just rolls with it.
Well, no, it is real. But she talks about it like, there's no chance I'd ever go out with whoever the fuck this is.
But her whole plan is to use it to make Shirogane jealous and be like, yeah, I'm going to stop you on that because I want to go out with you.
Right. Which totally backfires, because then he's like, oh, that's fine, you can try and go out on this date, but then I will tell the administration on you.
Yeah, I can't approve of this.
And
you're going to get expelled for this. Like, what?
Like, I think in the end, this one ends in her winning because he runs away, if I'm not mistaken.
No, that's the next one.
Oh, okay. This one, he wins because
of Secretary Girl again, but...
Oh, that's right. She's like, I'm gonna go do it anyway. And finally, it's like, and in her mind, she's like, He's like, it's like, this is the point where he'll come and stop me and do a tearful proclamation of his feelings for me. And an arm grabs her by the shoulder, turns her around as a fucking secretary.
She thinks it's Shirogane. She's like, yes, I got through to him, and he's gonna confess his feelings. But it's the secretary.
And she's like, don't do it! No! I don't want to see you expelled! You mean everything to me! They're best friends, by the way. Secretary and Kaguya. They don't want to see you do
They are
this.
best friends.
And pretty much as she's professing her love for her as a friend, you see Shirogane's arm on the right-hand side of the screen.
The part where he actually was gonna reach out.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm just gonna leave now.
You don't even see all of Shirogane, you just see the arm. It just like if you're not paying attention, you're just slowly watching, the secretary's like crying and holding Kaguya. You wouldn't notice on the right hand side of the screen this arm just slowly going backwards off screen.
And that leads us to our final one.
The final one where the plan was... Actually, no, there was no plan. This one was just a complete and utter misunderstanding. It was literally a misunderstanding. Kaguya wants Shirogane to feed her some of his food, like a lover, like a boyfriend would. And he's just eating his lunch. He's just eating his lunch. The secretary comes in and says, "Oh my god, that looks amazing." And he goes, "Okay, you want to try some?" And feeds her some, and she gets fucking pissed. Like, this shows a stink eye at her best friend, like calling her like a cow of calling her a fucking bovine.
She is so pissed off at the secretary.
Like, you fucking backstabbing bitch! No longer friends. If you fell off a pier,
we're not even friends anymore.
If you fell off a pier right now and we're drowning, I wouldn't deign to save you at this very moment. She's not saying this out loud. It's all in her head.
Yeah, to say that out loud, she probably like, but we were best friends.
Well, I love the ending because we're getting ahead of stuff. Like, it's like because Shirogane keeps seeing her give the stink eye, and he doesn't know why.
This one,
what is going on?
This one's funny to me because the entire thing is a sexual innuendo.
It is.
I mean, first off, they say Kaguya wants it.
Yes.
And then she wants these hot dogs
shaped like octopuses.
Wieners. Okay, not to be confused because Kaguya is actually saying wieners.
She is.
They're like peeled up into octopus shapes.
Yes.
Which is some weird thing that the Japanese do with their
I can see doing that. That's
dogs.
not hard to do. I can see doing that.
I would never do it. I don't even eat hot dogs, so...
Well, fuck you.
Yeah,
hot dogs are good.
I would
Especially
never
beef
do it.
dogs.
Okay.
But anyway, so so she comes in the next day. Her plan is to make a box of food so delicious that Shirogane will beg to swap lunches with her.
Yeah, and like I said, this is a sexual innuendo through and through.
Yes.
Because she wants Shirogane's wiener. Mm-hmm. If you have multiple cocks, I don't know what to say. And she's like, she made this lunch out. I don't know if she made it personally.
I'm
because
pretty sure it was her.
They say that she has a staff of chefs.
Yeah.
That make her lunches for her.
Right.
These really exotic, really good-looking lunches.
Yeah.
If you like seafood, that is.
No, yeah.
And she's like, but you really like oysters. And, oysters is one of those foods they consider an aphrodisiac. So,
yeah.
Like, this was just a sexual innuendo through and through.
So, she whips up her lunchbox, and they go, so Shiro and the secretary go, oh, okay, so she's going to eat her lunch, I guess we should eat ours too. And they would just whip out their lunch and start eating instead of her plan going through.
Yeah, her master plan to win Shirogane's affection.
To which it turns out Shirogane actually made the secretary her lunch.
And this just pisses Kaguya off even more. She's like, oh god, I'm gonna fucking kill this bitch. We're no longer friends. Nothing good between us can ever happen again.
Now, this is where I'm blurry. There's something that causes Shirogane to get all flustered and bothered. I think it was just the stare, wasn't it?
It was just the fucking stare. He's like, she is staring daggers into me, and I am terrified.
He freaks out, goes, "Oh shit! I got a meeting, student council meeting." Downs his food really fast and runs out the door.
And this leaves Kaguya heartbroken because he ate all the wieners and she wanted his.
She wanted
his wiener. God
yes.
damn it.
To which
this
is even
is
funny.
amazing.
When you put it this way, it makes this next scene even funnier. The secretary feeds her his wiener. Just like has it on the toothpick, just like, here, and she's like, and it puts it in her mouth, and she has this little orgasmic moment, and she's like, "Oh my god, you are my best friend.
You could be best friends again. I'm sorry about everything I said." And she's like, "What?"
It's like, "You are a human being." He's like,
yeah.
she goes, "What did you think I was?" So, I keep hitting the goddamn mic. My apologies. But this is one of those things I'm wondering. Okay, so that was our first episode.
Or was it?
I'm wondering if. I mean, I'm having fun. I had a lot of fun with the first episode. But I'm wondering if this is going to be one of those jokes that's going to get stale as we go.
I wonder that too, and I wonder if, they could keep up the quality. Because we have watched other comedies like Joshin Chan, and there have been bad episodes.
Yes.
And
oh, by the way, Kaguya won that one. In the third vignette, it says Kaguya won because Shiro left.
yeah, but my greatest hope is that they don't have a misstep, but
yeah,
they probably will.
Yeah, here and there.
I mean,
I'm just wondering. But see, I'm not worrying about missteps. I'm worrying about the overall joke, the very theme, the central theme of this show. Whether that joke's going to get old.
Well, I guess we'll see. We'll see because I've not read the manga, and I'm too lazy to read the manga, so I'll just watch the anime.
Okay, and that's what we're going to do. I enjoyed the first episode. First episode, I had no idea what I was getting myself into, but I was laughing my ass off. I think at least the first episode is definitely worth a shot, and if you guys like it, keep going from there. And,
what if it becomes like that weekly event we had where we had to gather around the TV and watch Invader Zim every week?
If it becomes that, I will be happy because I enjoyed the first episode immensely. I was smiling though, even when I was going, "What the fuck?" I was still smiling. It just the whole show had me smiling from beginning. Well, not from beginning. At first, it was sort of like, okay, we're laying down the groundwork. But the moment
they started off by doing this monologue by the narrator,
yeah.
So you don't really start into the action immediately.
Right. It's about 3 minutes in, and then once Kaguya and Shiro just start interacting, you just start smiling. It's just it's ridiculous.
Yeah, they just like go full derp on this, and it's like, a normal person would just confess and be like, okay, but the entire premise of the show is that there's a superior person in the relationship and there's an inferior one.
Yes, that's the premise by which they I mean, how you feel about relationships, whether you agree with that or not, that's the premise that they're going on for love in this series. And I don't know. I want to like this. I had so much fun with that first episode. I want to keep liking this.
That's never a good thing to say.
I know. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I hope you guys continue on the ride with us. And for now, let's move right along to the next anime we watched.
Okay. Since we're doing all these in alphabetical order and we're not ranking them this week, our next entry is Magical Girl Spec Ops Asuka. Or, as I'm just going to shorten it to, Murder Force.
Good name for that. Good name for that. At first, I didn't know why you were calling it that. But by the end, I got it. I completely got it. So, describe Murder Force for us.
I just want to put this down that I put this down as a guilty pleasure. I don't know where this is going to go. Mm-hmm. It's based off of a manga. And like I said in Kaguya, I'm too lazy to read manga.
I think we should use this one entry as a I guess for lack of a better term, a bit of a disclaimer. There were other anime that we were more interested in than this one, but we didn't feel that would work well for...
Yeah, we did have some others, but based on their initial showings, we did not feel that they would work well for this show.
And there was even at least one entry that it was one of those things where they just put out all of it. And as much as it looked interesting, I was like, oh god, that looks really interesting. What's the point of doing a weekly review if it's all out there for everyone to see? So this one was put on there specifically as, like he says, a guilty pleasure. It looks like one of those.
This was an experiment for us.
Yeah, it actually looks like an anime we would have grown up with.
Yeah, it doesn't have really amazing artwork.
No, its artwork actually puts me off, to be perfectly honest. Like, the faces are just these weird... Like, anime in general has inhuman, weird-looking faces, but this one is just like... It intensifies that. The eyes are just real... Have you seen those trailers for the Battle Angel Alita the live-action movie? The eyes look like that. All of them. It's just like, you can't help but look, eyes. Oh my god, eyes. Why eyes? So,
well, I do want to get into why I put this down as a guilty pleasure, though, because upon my initial watch,
okay,
they take some of this stuff way too seriously. I mean, first off, we have a bad guy, and I cannot, for the life of me, understand why he's a bad guy when he's just there stamping out bad CGI. And then,
well, here's the thing. You showed me that screen cap.
Yeah.
And I can see, okay, yeah, bad CGI. I saw it in motion on the TV over there, and I was like, it happened so fast I didn't even recognize it.
Well, I had to go back and look at it. I was like, was that a CG crowd? And so I just went back to the frame and paused it. Bless you.
Sorry. So go ahead, I'm sorry.
I just had to look at the frame, and I'm like, yeah, bad CG.
Yeah, it was. I'm just glad that they did it for a small piece like that. It didn't show up any other time in the episode.
I think this is the only place in the episode that there's a CG crowd.
Yes.
Because there's another part in the episode where there is a crowd.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that later.
Well, even in that very scene, there was a crowd, but then when it cut to that particular part, they turned CG.
And then the magical girls battle demons.
These demons are...
We'll just put up here? You be the judge.
I mean... I'd be terrified of that. Sure.
This is like all those movies back in the 80s, what were the toys? Like Teddy Ruxpin,
yeah,
My Buddy. I don't want to get that song stuck in my head.
My buddy.
What was that? What was that redhead?
He goes, my buddy.
Stop it! We're gonna get flagged.
My buddy.
Raggedy Ann.
Raggedy Ann. Actually, what it struck me as...
The Cabbage Patch Kids.
What it struck me as... Do you remember a Stephen King movie called The Langoliers?
Speaking of bad CG...
Yes, but it was that scene where they tried to make that room of dolls seem terrifying. It's like, oh my god, room of dolls! Ah!
The Langoliers is so bad that I've blocked it out of my memory, and I'm surprised that you haven't.
It's because, for me, Langoliers is one of those movies that's so bad that I enjoy watching it. It's wrapped around to being enjoyable. I'm sorry, the chick just disintegrates two cops with her lipstick. I mean...
Really?
She has a lipstick ray gun, yes.
Okay,
Back to Murder Squad.
Yeah, in Murder Squad, Murder Force, because it sounds cooler.
Yes, sorry.
They take these fucking demons seriously. And this is all backstory, by the way, because
so demons
Asuka and all the magical girls have defeated the demons.
Yeah, in 2016, demons invaded the world. 1 year later, fairies enter the world, and they align with the government, and they give them the power of magic to make Murder Force. Or the Magical Girls Spec Ops.
Yeah, so Murder Force wins the day. They killed the Demon King, for lack of a better word.
But not after losing 4 of their members. Apparently there were 9 of them.
Yeah, they were so unimportant they got off screen.
Yes.
And after like 5 minutes of this backstory,
It's like 3 years later.
We get 3 years later, the slice of life, daily life of Asuka.
As she goes to school, where she's apparently the star basketball player, and there was like two others, a swimmer, she's a master swimmer, and there was another sport, she's like that's that, but even the girls, the two girls who are admiring Asuka, are like, they all go, she's a mysterious, aloof transfer student. Do you think she's actually a secret, a superhero by night, like one of those late night animes?
Yeah. All of our late night animes.
So they're like, they really like her. They're like entranced by her. So the one girl wants to get her to join their track team. So they approach her and talk to her, and it's kind of sweet. It's kind of nice. They try to befriend her, and it's actually kind of nice. I like the little dynamic that happens between the three of them.
And this is all happening
Nozomi and
I don't.
The other is Four Eyes.
I think everybody should know that we are very bad with names at the beginning of the season.
I think the one girl's name is Nozomi. I don't remember the other girl's name is because, unfortunately, she gets pissed at Nozomi for introducing her as Four Eyes. Now all I know her as is Four Eyes.
Yeah, Four Eyes.
It shows how Asuka interacts with the two of them.
Yeah, so
it shows Asuka like going, trying out for track, and she, talks about what sports means to her and how she works out, and what it does for her. Then she spends time in the library with Four Eyes, and she talks about why she reads books constantly, how basically it helps her forget the bad things, but she never really elaborates on what those bad things are.
As an aside, I just had an intense feeling of deja vu that we were fucking talking about this years ago.
Yeah, I can see that.
But this is all going on, under the umbrella of Asuka suffering from severe PTSD from fighting the demons.
Well, it wasn't even the fighting, it was what happened to her parents.
Well, yeah, it's all fun and games until...
fuck!
It's all fun and games until Teddy Ruxpin starts chopping up your parents.
That's literally what happened. Not even a fucking joke. Teddy Ruxpin and other Teddy Ruxpin show up at her house.
Yeah, Teddy Ruxpin and Raggedy Ann show up.
Well, they were both little teddy bears. And she's like, what? Look, whatever you want. Are my parents still alive? She said, oh yeah, they're still alive. Yeah.
Give it back.
It's like, look, I'll do whatever you want. Just please give them back. It's like, oh, you don't have to offer us anything. We have every intention of giving them back to you. Just little bits at a time. And as they poof out, a box, yeah,
they leave a box behind.
Yeah, to Asuka-sama. And she goes over and opens it, and it's her dad's severed hand. Awesome.
I still will have a very hard time if these things come back.
I want them to.
I mean, I so want them to as well.
But we saw the bad guy squad at the end of the episode, and it didn't show no silly demons. It just showed really evil-looking people.
Just get, like, the fucking demons for, like, an episode.
I hope so. So, Asuka's really befriending Nozomi and Four Eyes. And then Four Eyes is out in public, and she's just, she's got some kind of pack. She went shopping or whatever. Meanwhile, the Joker is being transported by a security van.
The Joker!
And he's... and this is a scene out of The Dark Knight. It really is.
I guess it kind of is. I don't know. They say he's some...
terrorist.
East Asian terrorist. I want to think that he's a Russian guy.
I don't know.
Just based on his character design. But yeah, they exactly... This is a scene out of The Dark Knight.
They say they rescue him, and he decides, hey, kill a couple of the bystanders, and then in the chaos we can get away.
Yeah, we might as well just go on a rampage, because, yeah, we're the bad guys.
Yes. And poor Four Eyes gets knocked to the ground by people freaking the fuck out and running, and, knocking her over, and the Joker lines her up in his sights, gonna shoot her, and Asuka goes magical girl to save her. And this is when I realized why he refers to the show as Murder Force.
Yeah, the dude is like, holy shit, a magical girl? This is bad news, man. I better shoot her again.
He's shooting her. She's like putting up shields and stuff, and deflecting it. Grenade launchers mean nothing to her. Even a fucking minigun, a truck-mounted minigun means nothing to her. And
yeah, so explain why I called this Murder Force.
yes, so that one of the guys jumps in front of the terrorist guy, the main bad guy, to A, protect him, and B, shoot down Asuka. How does that work out for him?
Pretty good actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Because the scene I watched, Asuka chops him into 5 pieces.
He's not even joking. This guy gets completely dismembered in like one slice.
Well, it's multiple
This kind of reminds me of that scene from the Rurouni Kenshin OVA.
Okay.
Where what's his face? Kenshin's master.
Oh, Superman?
Yeah, shows up when he's a child, and the bandits are trying to kill him, and he just chops this guy up.
I refer to him as that because of the episode Superman versus the Giant. But anyway.
Yeah,
I can't remember his name.
She cuts this terrorist dude's legs off.
Oh yeah, after she dismembers the guy, then dashes forward and cuts the dude off at the middle part of the shin. Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, I'm not gonna kill you. You're going back to jail.
Minus the lower half of your legs.
Feet.
And then proceeds to dismember the rest of the bad guys and their truck. Like she dismembers a truck with the one with a mounted Gatling gun on it.
All the while having this look on her face like she's actually enjoying this shit.
I didn't get that from her. I didn't get that.
I get that from her a lot. I think this is what this show's gonna be about. It's just fucking blatant murder with magical girls.
So it's like, okay, so that was the first episode. How do we feel about this anime based on this first episode?
I feel great because in the preview for the next episode, they pretty much lay out that
we're getting Sailor Mercury.
Well, they're going to be adding a new member to the Murder Force.
Yes.
Which was an old girl they showed in the beginning that had the giant hypodermic needle.
The healer of the group.
Obviously the healer.
So,
but they do lay out that, yeah, it's okay for magical girls in this universe to straight up murder their victims.
Yes. So, again, I think this is just going to be one of those. It's like a '90s anime. It's not exactly going to be, more than skin deep. This is
going to be, and you might get mad at me. This is going to be like the Trigun arc where the Gung Ho guns show up.
Okay.
Because they do show this enemy faction that they're probably going to fight at the end of the episode.
They do. My queen. And I'm sure one of the bad guys was actually a magical girl. Because they went out, they made painstaking, even though we know none of them, we know none of these characters, they made painstaking efforts to hide the main bad guy's face. And it's a person of the female persuasion. So I'm pretty sure it's going to be former.
How could you tell?
You know what? So I'm pretty sure it's going to be a former, magical girl or something. Probably one they thought was dead or something like that. But yeah. So that's the thing. I have a feeling it's going to be one of those '90s animes. It's not exactly going to be something that's super deep. It's going to be about skin deep, and it's just going to be a fun watch every week. It's going to be something. It's not going to have anything deeper to say. I think I'm going to try to portray some kind of, the horrors of PTSD sort of thing. I think they're going to try, but I think they're going to fail.
I agree with you on this. I think it's going to be a fun watch. I don't think that there's going to be like some, oh my god, deep literary analysis that we could do on this show.
No.
I don't think that they're going to really go into the PTSD as much.
I still maintain they're going to try. It's not going to go very
unless they bring the fucking, mascot demons back.
I hope they do. I hope they do.
And they're like, oh shit!
Because just to hear the little Teddy Ruxpins using their squeaky high voices to threaten Asuka, it was so fucking funny.
I'm gonna murder you, I'm gonna murder your friends, and all of your parents.
Yay!
Happy fun times!
So that was Magical Girl Spec Ops Asuka. Looking forward to it. It's just gonna be one of those things where it's just you watch it every episode just to watch how Asuka dismembers something today. Just going, damn, Jesus. But yeah. So with that, we have. I think it's safe to say we don't exactly have high expectations, but we're looking forward to it.
No, I think this is going to go complete edge. It's obviously got complete edge already.
Yeah.
And my prediction is, either Asuka or some of her team members are going to die.
Yeah.
And the other dudes are definitely going to die.
Yeah.
In horrible ways.
So, any final thoughts? Or was that your final thought?
Yeah. Moving on to the next one.
Okay. Next on the list is The Promised Neverland. Oh my god. I'm going to start by saying I think this is going to be the banana fish of this season. I think this is the one that I was truly excited for when we went through all the anime for this season. This is the one I was like, that. I don't care what patrons say, what anybody else says, what you say. I want to watch that. And I will be perfectly honest. I don't know how you felt about it. First episode, I was not disappointed whatsoever.
Yeah, I'm not going to add any commentary here. Featherhoof's going to do all the talking. I'm just going to add, just one or two words here. And those words are going to be fire and cold fire, which are from the opening.
Okay. Oh, well, speaking of the opening, it has the best opening of the season. That's of these five. I don't watch as much anime as he does. Of these five we're watching, this is my favorite opening.
I mean, it's hard to pick. There's so many goddamn good fucking openings this season.
This is true, but I think this one is the cream of the crop.
I mean, I do enjoy this immensely. I've been listening to it all last week.
Yeah, you sent it to me, and I listened to it several times. So, Promised Neverland. Was it like 20 kids? Something like that? What would you say? Like 20, 25 kids? In an orphanage?
Fire.
Okay, that's right. I gotta do all the talking. Sorry. Yeah, all you can say is fire and cold fire. Got it. So we got some 20-odd kids in an orphanage in the middle of just nothing, really. There's a big field with forests and a gate. A big old gate. Oh yeah, and a fence that's about like waist high. I mean, on a child it's waist high. So on like you or I, it's like knee high. And these children, like the matron's like, you can't ever go past those. And why? You can't ever go past those. Why not? You can't ever go past those.
Yeah, this is such a typical adult explanation.
Yeah.
It's you can't do this because I'm an adult.
Those words were neither fire nor cold fire.
I might have lied.
Oh shit. So they all have numbers. This is like just at the risk of sounding insensitive, like a Jewish concentration camp because they're all tattooed on their neck. Like they're like 6-digit numbers for some reason. I don't know why exactly 6-digit numbers.
I wouldn't say that it's insensitive. Yeah, but
would you say it's apt? But
I probably wouldn't use it because people are sensitive.
Yeah,
so
I know, but it's the best way to describe it. But these kids think that they have the best life in the world. There's nothing like this is a truly blessed and wonderful life. Even though they all admit they would love to be adopted, they would all love. They'll have like they go through this one scene where they're all talking about the things they would love to see if they ever got adopted and they ever got out of there. All of them have their aspirations and dreams. But the show revolves around 3 children specifically. Emma, Ray, and Morton?
Norman, you fool.
Norman. Sorry, Morton's a Koopa kid. Norman. So
what an unfortunate name. Yeah, I named him Morton.
Morton Koopa Jr. But these 3, they are like the best. They're the smartest there. Like they get the highest test scores in the test of barcodes. They
It is. It is a test of barcodes.
literally, it's like they sit them down to do this test on this like touch screen looking thing, and the voice comes over to you. You have to answer every question in 9 seconds, and it doesn't really show them answering questions. They just take this pen and they scan barcodes.
Yeah, does everybody remember when they were back in school and had these super futuristic CG desks that you took tests on that were all in barcode?
Yeah, I totally remember that, dude. So what do we have? We have our cast. Emma is the most athletic. Norman is the strategic one.
Norman is the smartest.
Yes,
Ray is the most strategic.
Ray, I was about to say, is the most emo, but because Itachi killed his family. But
as an aside, this is like the edgiest season that we've done so far.
Yeah.
So yeah, Itachi killed both of our families.
So, I mean,
Yes.
this episode, we can sort of boil it down. The whole episode is a lot of cute kids doing cute things, and it's very adorable to watch them interact with one another. They have, they play tag with one another.
Well,
and-
while they're doing that, they are setting up what we should expect from this show.
Yes. They got the one kid, was it Don? Yeah, he's like, was that name Don or?
Whatever his name is. I'm not going to be able to remember these names.
I think it was Don. And he's like, Norman, I challenge you to a game of tag.
Yeah, he is so jealous over Norman's test scores, even though 2 other kids scored,
Exact
perfect.
same, yeah.
That he has to challenge him to a game of tag.
And when he loses at tag, he goes, I challenge you to a rematch where we're all it and you have to run.
As an aside, rematch, what he says is revenge. Revenge. I'm going to get revenge on you, Norman.
So it goes through a lot of little kids. We see you see those 2 little kids. I don't know if they're actually twins or not, but they have like the identical smile with the same crack in their tooth, like little half circle. And and we have the one Cecilia or whatever, start with a C.
It was Connie.
Connie, we have little Connie, who's the little innocent one with her pet bunny. And it showed a lot of the kids get, the little girl with the glasses, and it's like we get to see a lot of the main cast. They're really like giving us little introductions to them, and it's very sweet. It starts off very, very sweet.
Yeah, and Connie, speaking of her, she's very soon to be adopted.
Yeah, they have a little calendar. They keep flashing to it, and it shows Connie's day. Connie circled, and the matron at some point, the allotted day comes, and Connie is taken away. She promises everybody, because they had a conversation the day before. Why does no one who ever gets taken, who gets adopted, ever write? No one ever writes us letters. And like, oh, maybe they're just having so much fun with their families, or they've forgotten about us, or, they're just out living their lives, Well, Connie says, I promise I will always write. I will write all the time, and it's like, aw, this is so sweet. It's sweet. It's absolutely adorable. And actually, it was kind of creepy, because, like, when the matron is taking Connie, like, she's walking her to the gate, she's humming a song, and kind of like, I never heard you hum that song before. What's that song? And she just sort of, like, looks down at her with this gaze that's sort of like, okay, that's creepy. Because now the show takes a very creepy turn.
This is where we go from cute kids doing cute things into a straight-up horror show.
Yeah, straight up. Because Emma realizes, oh shit, Connie forgot her goddamn rabbit. So she and Norman, like Ray's like,
you. There's still time. You guys can go catch them.
Yeah, we have a discussion about Ray in a minute, but he basically tells him, you should go. You should go. You seem to be of the opinion that, like, he seems to already know.
Yeah, so I did have to watch this show twice. Spoilers. I did not pick this up the first time that I watched it. And you obviously didn't as well.
No, I didn't really. I might have to watch it again,
But
because I didn't catch this.
On a second watch, Ray seems to know things.
He possibly, because the entire episode, he's always talking about like when they see the little blue fence, the little waist-high fence. He goes,
Yeah.
they're like,
He's like, this is a lie.
yeah, so, they say we shouldn't ever cross it because there's dangerous things or whatever on the other side. That's obviously a lie. Or at the beginning when they're standing at the gate, he goes, it's obviously a lie, because Emma's like, they tell us we should never come here ever, It's like, because it's dangerous. And he goes, well, that's obviously a lie. He's always saying like, well, that's obviously a lie. I just took it as he's being...
one other important thing, which I'm going to get to after we cover this.
Okay. So, Emma and Norman get to the gate. It's open. And, like, we shouldn't really go. And Norman's like, hey, you know what? We'll worry about getting scolded together afterwards. Let's do this for Connie. Let's do it for Connie. And they're like, okay. So they go in there, and it's just this, it's an empty tunnel. All that's there is a truck. And they're like, huh, where the fuck is everybody? Where's Connie? They couldn't have gotten far yet, right? And they look, Norman looks in the driver's part of the truck and the cab. And he's like, oh, there's no one here. And Emma's like, well, maybe she's in the back. Let me look in the back of the truck.
I do like this entire scene because
this scene is really well,
really creepy.
Yes. Oh my god.
I don't think I'm ever gonna praise low frame rate very often, but it works in this show
because they do slow it down specifically for a reason. Because Connie goes back to the back of the truck, pulls the curtain back a bit, and then you just see her drop the bunny. And backing away with those, in anime when they have that look of terror and their eyes get, the pupils of their eyes get really tiny. She's like backing away, and she just, this look as if child innocence died instantly. And Norman's like, the fuck's wrong with you?
What the fuck?
Comes over, and it's choreographed beautifully. It's shot beautifully.
Yeah, this scene is just amazing.
It's slow. How it slowly pans around with Norman, and you just go back there, and he looks in the truck. You just see his face, just absolute abject horror on his face, because in the back of the truck is Connie, dead. It looks like she's been dead for a while, almost like her skin's all like blue and sort of wrinkled and gross.
Yeah,
and she's
I wonder how they killed her.
And it looks like she was stabbed with a bouquet of flowers, because there's like a bouquet of flowers just out of her her rib cage.
Yeah, and if we were ranking this week, I would say that this would easily be the number one.
Oh, absolutely, episode. Yes. And at that moment, you hear these voices like, "Oh shit, did you hear that?" And they're like, "Oh fuck, what do we do?" And he, without saying anything, he's like, they get wrapped around behind the truck, and they hear the door open, and somebody walks out with these weirdly heavy footfalls, incredibly heavy footfalls. And Norman looks at Emma and is like,
yeah, they climb under the truck because they do not want to be discovered.
Yeah, so
and I don't blame them.
No. So they're under the truck, and Emma, not entirely intelligently, but she apparently needs to see who these people are, and pokes her head in just a way so she can look up in such a way that if these guys looked down, they would clearly see her. But they are aliens, or monsters, or demons.
Yeah, I think they're just monsters.
They're monsters where their eyes are like almost like floundery, where one on top of the other.
Yeah. I didn't think about that, but yeah, they have them straight lined up.
Yeah, they're almost like, if you ever watched Bleach, the hollows all have the stone masks on their face? They look like hollows. And they are just talking about oh, look how scrumptious the little girl looks. Oh, can't I just have a bite? Just a fingertip? And he's like, no, these are for the highest bidders.
This is precious merchandise, you can't.
Yeah.
And they drop her in a jar of some liquid, I guess pickling her or something.
Yeah, and they basically talk about it. The orphanage is literally a human farm. They are farming children.
To eat them.
Yes. Well, to sell them.
And to...
We don't know if they're eating them.
Yes.
They are selling them to the highest bidder.
Dude, you just have to look at the promotional art where they have a knife and a fork. They're eating these kids.
I'm not saying they aren't. Well, they're not. They're farming them.
Yeah, they're the farmers.
So another monster comes out with the matron, and he specifically says, I want these 3 with the top scores next. I want to harvest those ones next. And these kids, like, they just can't believe it. You can see, like, they drew their faces so well. They are so well animated here. You can just see it, just innocence, like, die. You can see, like...
Yeah, the day our innocence died.
It is. It's like the betrayal. You can just see the betrayal in their faces when they see the matron there just selling off their corpses. And this has been happening forever. And now all of a sudden he's like, the main monster, he's like, wait, do you smell that? I smell something. He goes over the truck and you just see those creepy eyes just like look down, and
he's like, oh, something's under the truck.
And when he goes to duck under and looks, all that's there is the bunny. Apparently, somehow they escaped.
They're like, yeah, we got to get the fuck out of Dodge.
Didn't really show them escaping because I'm still not exactly sure how they did it. They ran down the open
there's
tunnel.
In the manga or something that they just cut out.
But it shows them running, and Emma just can't take it. She just screams in terror and fear and anger, and it's just. So they get back, and her and Norman are just talking about they need to go. Norman's like, "You, me, and Ray, let's go. We don't have we're not going to stay here to be sold off to the highest bidder. Our corpses sold off to the highest bidder for food." And Emma's like, I can't leave everyone else to, knowing that this is their fate. So they agree, okay, we'll take everyone. We will get the fuck out of here. Meanwhile, and this is the part, I think I can sort of think looking back on it, it still shows Ray, he's still standing on the staircase, looking out the window, staring at the gate.
Yeah, so going back to the scenes that we were talking about that we were going to discuss after we discussed the most brilliant scene that we've watched this season thus far.
Which, by the way, that was how the episode ends. The episode cuts there. So
is Ray interacting with the other kids when they're talking about, what they're going to do.
Oh,
and,
yes.
And Ray going, yeah, this fence is alive. He said one other thing in the episode, and they're like, what are you going to do, Ray? And he's like, I'm going to go blah, blah, blah if I survive.
That's right. He did do that, didn't he?
Yeah, so foreshadowing?
Possibly.
Also with Emma telling the 2 boys that she's going to eat them.
Oh, yeah, that was right. The little boys came and knocked her over as a joke. And then she's like, I'm going to eat you! And, like, chasing them down. And it was, again, cute kids going to do cute kids doing cute things. But, okay, so I have a feeling this is going to be really good. It starts off fantastic. There's a lot of foreshadowing. The scenes where it transitions into a horror was so well done.
Yeah, this show got my attention immediately.
Yes. Oh my god.
And this is published in Weekly Shonen Jump, so...
Oh, is it?
Okay.
This is a shonen?
Yeah.
Really?
This is going to be a battle of brains and wit and strategy. But they do set it up that they've never beaten the matron at chess.
Yes.
So this is problematic.
So it's going to be a lot of... I can see them, thwarting the adults using kid things. The kids playing tag. The kids playing hide and seek and something like that. They likened tag to chess. So, I mean, they're going to do what kids do, and it's going to be a way to defend themselves.
Well, I'm eagerly anticipating next week so we can watch this show again.
I cannot wait for next week to watch this show again. I'm like Banana Fish in the previous 2 seasons. I am now finding myself living for the next week so I can see more Promised Neverland.
Promised Neverland, anime of the season?
I'm calling it right now. It's anime of the season. I love it that much so far. Just by 1 episode, I fell in love with it. I fell in love with the art.
We don't need any more episodes. We're done.
I fell in love with the art direction, the cinematography, the characters. I mean, it's just... I legit, by the end of that episode, I actually am now terrified for those kids. Because they made the kids
this
cute
sets up,
and adorable. I care about them.
This is a great show.
It's not like, for those who remember last season... with Double Decker, where it's like, we're going to throw all these things at you you're supposed to care about, and then you don't care about them.
Oh, dear God, don't jinx it, man. Don't jinx it.
But they specifically spent an episode to get you to care about what happens to these cute, adorable kids to get you to know them, and then make you terrified for them. And it did it so well. So I'm excited. I am truly excited for the next week for that. But there's one more anime we watched. There was one more, and we're going to go ahead and transition into that, because if I don't, I will just gush about Promised Neverland for another hour and a half, and I don't think you guys want another hour and a half of that. So,
next week,
moving on.
And our final anime this week is Rising of the Shield Hero.
Or, as you affectionately call it,
Douchebag Hero.
Which I disagree with, but we'll get into that. What's one word to describe Rising of the Shield Hero?
Isekai.
What? No!
They only spammed it like 300,000 times during the episode.
They honestly did. I always found it kind of funny, the rise of the isekai genre. This episode, which by the way was 47 minutes long, literally says the word isekai a million times.
To put this into perspective for everybody, when we're looking through the seasonal anime charts to find shows to watch, as soon as Featherhoof gets the hint of an isekai, he turns his nose up at it.
That's not entirely true. Okay, I have enjoyed some isekai, alright?
Like what?
Dot Hack. Dot Hack was one of my favorite shows ever growing up. I love Dot Hack.
Let's talk about the isekai rise after Sword Art Online. Because there were isekais before Sword Art popularized it, and everybody was like, oh, we gotta cash in on this.
I mean, I have heard, I still want to go back and watch it, and I have heard the time I was reincarnated as a slime was actually really good.
It's still airing.
Okay, well, that still doesn't take away from my point. What was the one that you guys showed me? The funny one.
Konosuba?
Konosuba. I enjoyed the hell out of that. That was an isekai.
I know another isekai that you enjoyed, unfortunately, which fell apart at the end, was Escaflowne.
Escaflowne! I did love Escaflowne. It did fall apart really hard at the end. Those last 4 or 5 episodes were like, what the fuck? But it was really good until then.
Yeah, so this is an isekai show.
Yes.
And you get everything that comes with an isekai. Only, I think I like this because I want to watch a show where they start off at level 1. Because I'll be honest, the early game in RPGs is my favorite part of them.
Agreed. Here's the thing. I remember, I don't like talking about it because when I do, I'm very opinionated of it. Sword Art. Sword Art, I always loved the first episode because it's like, oh god, I can't wait to see where they go with this. He's level 1, they're all level 1, how do they survive? And then it's like episode 2, he's level 5. Episode 3, he's level 30. Episode 4, he's level 75. Shield Hero does not feel like it's going to do that. It's specifically, this guy is, yes, he's one of the 4 heroes destined to save the world.
4 heroes of legend.
But he is specifically the weakest.
Yeah, he's the weakest, and he has trouble with his growth because being the shield hero, I guess he has massive defense, but no offense.
The best he can do is punch things with his literal fists, and that does like 1 HP's worth of damage. So, what is he? We have ourselves an otaku. He is an otaku in the real world, in Nihon, and after he makes himself po by buying all of the otaku shit, he then is like, but I'm not like your normal shut-in otaku. When I run out of money, I go to the library to read light novels. It's like...
That sounds terrible, actually.
Which from henceforth on are called LNs. Like, he's so lazy, he doesn't even call them light novels the rest of the episode.
I think that was just the translator at Crunchyroll being lazy, just putting it down as LN.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, he finds a light novel, and it transports him to another world! To which...
You don't say!
Yeah! In an isekai!
He got summoned against his will, and so did 3 other guys.
Now, this I actually liked. This is actually something I kind of liked. the three other guys are just sort of like, okay, wait. So you transported us to your world to solve your problems, and then we get to go home. What do we get out of this? Why are we here to save your fucking world? Like, they are literally...
The fuck?
Which is like, that's the most honest reaction I've ever seen written into that situation.
Yeah.
They're all like, the fuck is this? Why would we put our lives on the line for you? We don't even know you.
And then they instantly start douchebagging.
They do. They actually, it's like, well, let's see. What do we get out of this? Where's our, and they're like, well, you'll be properly compensated. Which, of course, they didn't really say what that was. So, they're introduced to the king, and they are introduced to the fact that apparently this world, even though being not an MMO, runs on MMO like mechanics and systems, because they have a status page that they can pull up.
Well, the status page, they explicitly say that only the heroes can view it, and the other people have no idea how to access that.
Yeah, but when they talk about when the guy goes armor shopping, when they do anything, they all talk about it in terms of an MMO. Even
the four heroes. I don't want to say the four mains because I don't think the other three dudes are going to matter at all.
Well, I think at least one of them's going to matter for another reason we'll talk about when we get there. But like when the armorer guy tries to look at Neofumi's, his name
I think
was
it's Naofumi.
Naofumi. When he looks at Naofumi's shield, he's like, to me, looking at the stat, he talks about like looking at the stats of your shield. It looks like just like a normal shield because he puts on like an eyeglass, like a monocle looking, a spyglass looking thing, and it like does like scan. He scans it, and it's just all the talk they have are very RPG terms and RPG logic.
Well, I do want to talk about the Chancellor or whatever he is explaining this stuff after the king's like, yeah, just explain it to him because I'm the king and I get to be lazy.
Yeah.
The Chancellor has this shit-eating grin.
He does.
Which implies that he's in no way going to betray anybody in this story.
No.
This guy is morally upright.
Yes. So, here's the story of this world. Every kingdom, apparently there's at least 4 kingdoms in this world, has a dragon hourglass. When the dragon hourglass empties, a wave of monsters appears. So, the last wave appeared, the first wave appeared, they barely survived it, so they
were like, oh shit, we better get the heroes.
Yes, so they summon the heroes, and the heroes, in order to go home, have to fend off all the waves. And they have to do it together. The 4 of them have to be together during these waves to defeat them, otherwise they can't go home.
But for some reason they can't train together?
Right. They can't level together because apparently the 4 weapons negatively affect each other.
Yeah, so the next wave is going to show up in a month, so they have 1 month to power level for.
What's a month? I thought it was months. I thought they said a few months.
It's 1 month.
Okay. So yeah, they have to power level. So the next day they come back, and the king's like, no. The king says, okay, we will get the best knights and adventurers to join you. You guys sleep tonight in the lap of luxury in our castle, and get to know each other and blah. So they get around it, and they're like, okay, where are you from? And they try to figure out where they're all from, and they're like, wait. Because, like, one's talking about, like, the type of game. He's like, this reminds me of this game I play. And, like, I've never heard of it. How can you never heard of that game? It's so popular. And the other's like, well, I never heard of it either. I play blah, blah, blah. And like, well, I've never heard of that game. And he's like...
Yeah, and then they start running facts by each other. And it turns out they're all from different versions of alternate universes of Japan.
Yes. So... neat. And I guess... our universe, the one that Naofumi is from, is the most primitive, and that's why he got the shield, because he has no idea how any of this works or any of the systems. He's literally in the dark here. So he doesn't
play video games. He just reads light novels
and manga, and collects toys. and all that shit. So he...
Yes, every time the next Gundam comes out, he's like, I gotta go buy these toys!
So, the spear hero refers to it as like, look, because you know nothing, that's probably why you got the shield, because you're a loser. And that's the class that losers play. There's no shield users in Endgame. So, it's like...
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So they go down to the king next day. There's all the adventurers. 15 adventurers, right? Was it 15? Yeah, because there would have been... No. 3 times 4. 12. 12 adventurers.
Yeah, 12 adventurers.
And they're like, okay, adventurers, pick the team you want to be on. And nobody goes to Naofumi.
Yeah, they all get to pick their own hero. Rigged.
Yeah. And because somebody eavesdropped on their conversation the other night, found out that Naofumi knows nothing of the rules, the terms, the world, nothing. He's the only one that's sort of completely in the dark here. That rumor spread so fucking fast that by the morning, nobody wants anything to do with it.
Yeah.
Lucky him.
And he points this out. He's like, I don't have any party members. Okay. This isn't fair.
So, one chick, Misa?
Miney.
Mine?
How did she pronounce it?
M-Y-N-E.
Yeah.
I don't want to say mine, because that sounds kind of...
I'm just going to go with mine.
Okay, we'll go with mine, I guess. Mine steps forward and says, I'll do it. I'll be a part of his party.
I'll be part of his party.
And I'll be honest. I saw part of this coming right there. Part of what happens to him, I saw coming right there.
I saw it in the scene before because of Chancellor Douchebag.
Well, they seem to get along. They all go out and they all begin their adventures to power grind. To power level. They go out there and she's teaching him the ropes, but she's always sort of doing this thing where she's sort of fawning over him and, you know, always like, oh, why don't you buy me this armor and buy me this weapon and, you know. And
yeah, she uses her feminine wiles to con him into buying a set of, like, full plate and...
Yep, and a brand new magical sword and...
I just want to comment on this armor because, well, it's not your typical fantasy armor for a woman, which is just the chainmail bikini.
No.
But there's, like, no padding under it.
No.
That has to be doing some things to her body.
Painful things, yeah.
I mean, I don't care what sex you are. You can't wear armor without padding.
So, they go out there and after you get their first set of armor, he goes out there and begins to... Well, actually, no. When they go to the armor, they find... He's like, okay, I need weapons and armor. He tries to take a sword. And it sort of, like, gets jolted out of his hand. Like,
he gets zapped by the sword. He's like, what the fuck?
And he tries to pick another one, and it also gets jolted out of his hand. And he gets this little warning. He's like, no, warning, trying to use unauthorized weapons. He is not allowed to use any weapon other than his shield.
And I'm guessing this applies to the other heroes as well.
I would imagine, yeah. So, he's kind of screwed in that aspect. So he, under the tutelage of mine, he goes out there and, 22 minutes to slime, by the way, for Dragon Quest fans.
22 minutes to slime.
For Dragon Quest fans, 22 minutes to slime. He goes out there and, well, balloons, I guess. I think they call them balloons. Orange balloons.
Well, they are balloons.
Yeah. He goes out there and begins to kill them, one by one, which apparently takes, him 12 punches to kill one.
Meanwhile, the sword hero is
single
just,
slashing
one-shotting them.
Yeah. And he's learning stuff about his weapon, how he can take the monster pieces and put them in his shield to unlock new shields. So he...
I mean, obviously, his weapon does not lack in utility.
No, in fact, I would actually kind of dig the weapon, to be perfectly honest. I kind of want that to be an MMO mechanic. That'd be a cool class to play, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, you're the super tank with some weird utility abilities.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be interesting to play. I would love to see a tank support class. That would be really neat. But, like I said, they go back to the inn after a hard day's work. Actually, it's like 2 hard days' work. And
his hard work.
yeah, mine is trying really hard to get him to drink the wine at the table. It's like
he's not an alcoholic.
Yeah, he's like, I don't like wine. I don't take it.
I'm not drinking it.
Yeah. So he's like, but you know what? I'm gonna turn in early. I'm gonna turn in early, you know, and just so we get a fresh start tomorrow. And he's like, okay, and he goes to bed.
Yeah, because he's super hyped about being in this new world.
Well, he's getting into the swing of it. He's not really a fan of his position. He doesn't like being the weakest hero. He doesn't like the reputation he's got. You know, he doesn't like, you know, a lot of his situations. But for some reason, he actually points out, like when the mind like sort of fawns all over him, he goes, this is the MMO trope I was waiting for.
Yeah, this is the anime trope we've all been waiting for. Where I'm gonna build a harem.
Yes. So he's just sort of, you know, it's sort of that Zen thing. I can't choose where I be, so I choose to be here. Sort of mentality.
Okay.
He goes to bed, and when he wakes up, he finds all his stuff's gone. Everything. His money, his clothes, all of it. His armor, well, not his clothes, his armor. The only thing that he has is his clothes on him and his shield.
That would be funny if all of his clothes got stolen, and he had to rush out there with his wing flapping in the wind.
Well, probably would
like, what? What's this guy doing?
Well,
not only is he the weakest hero, he's the crazy hero.
Yes. So he wakes up, and he's like, shit, I've been fucking robbed. He tries to wake up mine. He's banging on her door, but she's not answering, and he's like flanked by like all these guards suddenly. He's like, shield hero. He's like, yeah. He's like, you've been requested by the king. Come with us. Like, okay. And he's taken in there. Everyone's there. All the other heroes, all their party members. Mine's sitting there, and she's like sort of like clinging on to Spear Hero, whatever the fuck his name is.
Yeah, she's really hamming up this tale about how she got sexually assaulted by the shield hero
in a city that's a matriarchy, where the women call the shots. The women are the one who you know, how she put it during the dinner. When usually men don't turn it down when a woman offers.
Nobody's going to turn down a woman in the matriarchy.
Yeah, so she found him unusual because he turned down a woman's request.
I'm just going to call bullshit. The king, Chancellor douchebag, and her were all in on this.
I don't know if the king were. I don't know. I don't want to say the king was. I think
I'm pretty sure the king was.
Spear User was definitely in on this.
I don't know if Spear User was in on it.
Spear User's wearing Naofumi's armor. He's literally wearing his armor.
I think he just got operated by mine.
I don't know. And they're all calling him rapist and you scumbag and blah blah blah. And he's like, fine, send me home. Fine, fuck you. I'm not going to sit here and try and defend my innocence when I know I'm innocent, but you're never going to believe me, so fuck off. I want to go back home. And like, well...
The king's like, well, we can't do that.
It's like, and then all the other heroes are like, fuck, we don't we have to work with this douchebag? We don't even want to work with this fucker. It's like, well, here's the thing. We're going to lay it out for you. The four of you have to work together. You either all four have to defeat all the waves together, or all four have to die so that we can summon more heroes. Because we can't summon more unless all four of you die. So... that's the rules.
Now, let's talk about the soundtrack, because can you tell that the person doing the soundtrack is the same guy that did Made in Abyss?
Seeing as I've only watched one episode of Made in Abyss, I don't know.
Well, it's the guy that did Made in Abyss, and who I pulled the quote to you about Made in Abyss 2, the upcoming movie,
right?
Is, be ready, be so fucking ready, I'm not pulling any punches.
Yes, I do. You did send me one song from Made in Abyss, and I listened to it. I went, "Wait, that was him pulling his punches?" Because that was so fucking good.
So Made in Abyss has a fantastic soundtrack.
So this is the same person.
Guy.
Okay, I'll have to listen to the music more carefully now. Because I was actually focusing a lot on the story. I actually wasn't hearing a lot of the music, to be perfectly honest.
Well, it was excellent, actually.
Okay. So, Shield Hero feels...
depressed.
Rightfully so, but pissed. He's fucking pissed off.
Pissed.
He says, fuck you, fine. I'm gonna go out there, I'll do what I have to do, because we have no choice, but fuck all y'all. In fact, he actually did the tourist thing where he hid some money on his person in case he got robbed, and he just takes it out, and he's like, fuck you. You wanted this? Have it. I don't even fucking care. He walks out of there, armorless, penniless, and his sentence is that now everyone knows what he did. That's his punishment.
They're like, wow, this guy's a douchebag.
So no one wants to deal with him. So he's out there. He's trying to train on his own. He learns more of what his shield can do. He even found out his shield can enhance mats, which is kind of neat.
It can enhance a lot of things. Like, he finds herbs out in the wilderness. And just, like, uses some skill he learned from leveling up or whatever to make it better. And he sold it to this dude. And this dude was like, holy shit, this is some good stuff. I'm going to give you more money.
Yep. He tries to sell the orange balloon carcasses.
He tries to sell these balloon carcasses because he's been murdering balloons to power level poorly. It's
kind of like that episode of South Park where they kill 1 million boars to level up to max level.
That's been so long ago.
The WoW episode.
Yeah.
So the dude in front of him, he gets 2 balloon carcasses. He gets 1 copper for it. He tries to trade in 20 carcasses. He's like, 1 copper.
The shopkeeper's like, yeah, I'm going to scam you, man.
To which, you call him a douchebag for this. I call it rightful justification.
You can't walk in there and just, even if these guys are douchebags, and this is like an evil action.
I wouldn't call it evil. I call it chaotic.
It's an evil action.
It's not. It's chaotic. I'm sorry.
He's threatening bodily harm to this guy.
Yes.
That's not chaotic. That's evil.
I'd say it's chaotic. I wouldn't say evil. I'd say chaotic neutral.
I wouldn't say chaotic
I'd say chaotic neutral.
Because chaotic neutral dudes can be complete loopy motherfuckers.
They can, but that doesn't mean they have to be. Anyway, we're not gonna argue D&D nature rules.
No, we're gonna spend another 2 hours arguing this point.
So he actually does. He threatens him. For some reason, because he points out earlier in the episode, because of the shield, he doesn't really feel pain.
Yeah, he's got astronomical defense, apparently.
Yeah. He whips open his cape, and he's got 3 balloons just attached to his arm and sides and stuff.
They're like, nom nom nom.
So he, like, takes the guy, and, like, you know how bullies would take your head and put you in an arm lock to noogie you? He does that, but with the fucking, the balloons.
And the guy's like, okay, I'll give you fair market price. You made your point.
So he's having to deal with this day in and day out. He works just days and days and gets to level 2. And at some point, he like some guys come up to him at the bar and he's like, "Hey, you're that shield hero guy, right? Here, you need a party." And he like goes into like true business mode. I kind of dig this.
He goes into businessman mode. He's like, "Yeah, these are the terms and conditions. You're gonna get paid based on your work."
Yeah, which means I'll be guaranteed 40%, and the rest will be divvy up at my discretion based on what you did. That's what his alignment
is now. True businessman.
To which they get out. It turns out that the only thing they were trying to do was
mug him.
Yeah. So they get out there, and he's like, "Hey, why don't you pay us now?" And he's like, "Oh, like that's what we're doing here."
He's like, "Oh, I knew you guys were gonna do this. Why didn't you just save me some time and do it back in the bar?"
Yep. And then proceeds to beat them with a balloon.
Yeah, he balloons one guy. I hope they keep this up.
I do. I want his balloon to be his attack. I love it.
He balloons one of the guys and blocks a dagger from the other dude with his shield,
which like causes
causes an explosion.
Like the scene from Avengers where Thor's hammer hits Captain America's shield. Kind of the same thing. And they're like, "Oh shit, fuck this! Oh, we're getting And he's lamenting his situation. He's in a bit of a.
He's in a bind.
Yeah, he's like, I need to defeat things to level up, but I can't defeat things because I have no strength.
Yeah, he needs somebody who can do DPS for him.
So, the creepy clown from Cowboy Bebop comes out, and
Creepy McCreepy shows up.
He's like, "Hey, I got you don't want party members. You don't want party members. You know what you need are slaves. That's what you need." And he proceeds to show him
he takes him to his morally upstanding business.
Which apparently in this city at least is, because it's all full of demi-humans, which...
It's in a fucking carnival tent.
It is. Well, no, he actually says demi-humans are actually, considered lesser than human.
This is true. They're racist in this world.
Yeah, at least in the city. He specifically says in this kingdom is like the KKK for humans.
I mean, I could understand because it's a medieval setting. It's
Yeah.
not like...
Although we did see at one point, we did see one of the demi-humans walking around in the city. So, I mean, I'm not exactly sure how that works. But, you know, he's like, you know, they're considered, you know, less than human. So, therefore, this is all legit.
This is all legit because we're back in the Middle Ages where we were all douchebags and this flew.
Yeah. Not saying that that is legit. I'm not condoning it. But it's... He looking around and all of a sudden he's like, you know, looking at... He describes the difference between a normal demi-human and a beast man. You know, the difference between furries and an anime cat girl. And
Is there a difference?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anime cat girls are the characters like Inuyasha or the main character from Hyper Police where they just have animal ears and a tail. And
Inuyasha's a cat girl?
No, but he's a... I don't know what they call the character. You know, he has his dog ears and a tail.
Therefore, cat girl.
I don't know what the actual term is, so I just, lump it together. He's an anime
girl.
dog boy.
You've heard it here first. Inuyasha is a cat
He's
girl.
a dog boy, but you know what I meant.
I haven't watched Inuyasha, so I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm sure you haven't. It's okay. You can lie. It's fine. We all know it was on Toonami. We all watched it, whether we liked it or not, because it was before and after both something that was actually worth watching. But beyond that, it's... He basically points out that distinction, even though, as Neofumi says, he's like, but they're still just basically demi-humans and less than humans. And
he does point out the most important thing is that because of some spell or whatever that these slaves have placed on them, they can't betray him.
Yes, at the risk of death.
Yeah, at the risk of death.
And he's like, here's a... and he's like, follow me, like, the fuck? What the fuck? And he's apparently really interested in this coughing. And he follows it to a little... I don't even know what it wasn't... I don't know what...
Fox girl?
I don't know. She didn't... Her ears were sort of rounded. I would sort of want to say like a squirrel.
Panda girl?
It's not a squirrel, I think.
Red panda?
I think she was a squirrel.
Okay.
Like, at least by the ears and the tail. There's a fluffier tail.
We'll find out in future episodes.
I don't know. Yeah, we will find out later. Because it just sort of ends there as it looks on her and she has those, like, dead eyes. You know, those dead, like, like a dead, broken slave eyes. You know, the ones that's been beaten into being a slave sort of look on her face. Like, defeated. Like, absolutely defeated. And then it cuts to end credits. So that was a 47-minute episode 1 of Rise of the Shield Hero. What did you think? What did you think of the show in general?
I am intrigued. I don't think this is going to be better than Promised Neverland.
No.
It did not come off as strong as it.
No.
But I still like this first episode.
I did. I mean, I wonder what it says about this episode, though. That they needed 47 minutes to relay to us what every other anime was able to relay to us in 22 minutes.
Well, some shows I watch, I have no fucking clue what is going on.
That is true. I mean, we've actually reported on episodes in this series, you know, in Anime Talk, where we watched our first episodes and go, I have no idea what's going on yet.
So some shows can't clearly convey what the show is even supposed to be about.
Now,
but I do get what you're saying there.
Yeah. I don't know if... I mean, it could mean that every episode is 47 minutes long. It could be a 47-minute long show.
I somehow doubt that.
Yeah, I kind of do too. But I mean, I'm just putting it out there. It could be. But, I like it. I have hopes for it. If we were rating it, I would say it is my third favorite this week. I mean, I enjoyed Promised Land, Dororo, and then this. Mm-hmm. I mean, as far as it being an isekai, like I said, when they were transported to the world, it had some of the most honest reactions. You know, it's not like, you know, I'm destined hero. Yay! It's like, the fuck, bastards? Why did you could have at least asked or something, you know?
I do appreciate the fact that he is not overpowered because, like I said, we do go through these isekais like every season.
Yeah.
And this is usually how the synopsis starts out. Blah, blah, blah is overpowered, and then we turn our brains off.
Yeah. Blah, blah, blah winds up a new world and is able to save the world because he has a cell phone.
Yeah.
blah 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 gets teleported to the new world, and he's he was supposed to be a slave of some chicks, but the spell backfired, and he gets a harem.
Yeah, just to name a few.
Yeah, to describe. Yeah. Dude gets stuck in a video game world and suddenly becomes max level by third episode and slays every fucking thing without any problem.
Yeah, so everything he just said is an actual show.
Yeah. I mean, maybe that's why I should probably go check out, Reincarnation as Slime, because he's reincarnated as a fucking slime, the weakest of monster enemies. But who knows? Maybe that's the secret to a real good isekai. Is becoming the weakest of the weak. In Konosuba, we can't say he was overpowered.
Okay.
That might be the trick to a good isekai.
Yeah, you know what? I think you're right, because it's the journey that matters. It's not being some overpowered fantasy wish fulfillment.
Right. So I'm interested. Like I said, first off, I'm interested in the class of Shield Bearer. I want to see how that works out. I mean, I would love to see that in a game. I would love to actually play a game where that's actually legit. You actually have to rely on party members to do the attacking, and they have to rely on you to keep them from being attacked. That would be really neat. But and I want to see how they portray that in the anime. I cannot wait to see how they portray that. I think if I were to judge anything in a negative light, is his trial for raping. It's really heavy-handed. Everyone is just sort of like, "Oh, you rapist! Oh!"
If you could call it a trial.
Yeah, yeah. His sentencing, let's put it that way. He went straight to the sentencing part. It just... Everyone is just like, "Oh, the scumbag! Oh!" It's treated very heavy-handed, and it just doesn't... The irrefutable evidence, as they put it, is just sort of like, no, you can refute that. That's not really irrefutable evidence.
Actually, you know what? The evidence they bring in is very questionable, considering this is the Middle Ages. Where did they find this fucking lingerie?
That is also a very good question.
Like, what?
So, yeah, if I had to knock it for anything, it's possibly that.
The styles of the time. Of course, there's lingerie.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah. So, that was Rising of the Shield Hero. Any final thoughts on that?
No.
No? No. Yeah. So, that was our 5th anime. And with that, that is the end of the first episode of Anime Talk for Winter 2019. I'm really looking forward to the season. I'm a little worried for Kaguya-sama. I think that's really the only one I'm really worried about, just because I'm afraid the joke will get stale.
You're not even worried about Murder Force. You're like, this is gonna be our weekly show that we just love for the sake of loving.
Murder Force, I don't think I'm truly gonna love Murder Force. I think I'm gonna have fun watching it. I don't think it's gonna be like on anyone's list of, yes, that was the best anime. I think that's like the palate cleanser of this season.
It's just gonna be a fun ride.
Yeah.
While it lasts.
Dororo, it's dark, but I'm like I said, I'm interested to see it, see how that plays out. Promised Neverland is definitely the breakout this season. Oh my god. And Shield Hero, we'll see where that goes. It has potential, but we'll see where it goes. We'll be talking about other anime as we go on, because we're going to continue with last season's introduction of Elsewhere in Anime, and see what's offered to us in the rest of the anime world. We're going to continue to follow these 5 anime, dissect them, talk about them, and hopefully you guys will follow along. Hopefully you'll be watching it with us. You'll put in the comments below what you thought about our thoughts, your own thoughts, whatever anime you're watching, telling us about them. Let's talk anime, let's enjoy it, and we're going to do that across the next 12 to 13 weeks.
Yeah, and I'm interested in what everybody else is watching this season.
Yes, please. Again, if you're watching something we're not, even if you're watching what we're watching, tell us about it. Talk to us about it. We want to hear from you. For now, however, take care. Have yourselves a fantastic time with this season's anime. If you like this episode, please let us know with a like, comment, subscribe, share it, or you can click on the annotations for other videos we've done. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you all next time.